Have you ever had a hard time starting a fire? Well, today I have 2 different fire starting techniques for you, or I should say tools for you, to hopefully help you be able to start your fire a little bit easier. My name's Katie and I am the school programs coordinator at South Dakota Game Fish and Parks Outdoor Campus in Rapid City, and I'm excited to be with you today. So the 2 different types of fire starters I have for you today. One is pretty simple. It involves a cotton ball, some petroleum jelly, and something to store it in, like an old film canister or just a little baggie. So for this one, what we do is super simple. The Vaseline or petroleum jelly is pretty flammable. So you take your cotton ball and you just gop it up into the jelly, and then you have a nice fire starter. I will stick a couple of these into my film canister, 2 or 3 of them, and then really you probably only need 1 to get a good fire going. This will help to have your tinder and kindling burn longer to get everything heated up and started. And so it's really helpful if you have wet wood or conditions that aren't great to start a fire. The other one I have for you today is a little bit more complicated. However, it's a great fire starter. So the things you need for this are cardboard egg cartons, which we have pre-cut here. So we just cut the little egg cartons out. We also need dryer lint, which I know everybody has some of that, right? And the last thing that we need is some wax. So what we're gonna do for this one is we're going to melt our wax. So I happen to have a pan that is just specifically for melting wax, because if you melt wax in a pan that you use at home, then it's not going to work out very well because you won't be able to get the wax completely out. I'm doing this outside today because I didn't want to get wax on my nice stove in the house, so we're in the garage. So we're gonna melt the wax, and then the next thing we do is we're going to take some of our lint and we're just going to stick that right there into the egg carton, just like that. So I'm gonna do a couple of those. And you can fill it, probably I would go about 2/3 full, no more than that. When you pour the wax in, it will actually shrink down a little bit. As you melt your wax, you want to just kind of keep the pan moving around a little bit to make sure that it doesn't get burned. And then the other thing is melt your wax over low heat. Melting it over high heat might melt it a little bit too fast and get it burned. The other thing I like to do is I like to set this on a pan with some tin foil. And this could be the messy part, but all you're going to do when you have your lint filled in your egg carton is you're going to start to pour some of the wax over the lint and just have the lint nice and covered with wax, just like this. We're almost done with our project here, and Avon asked me a good question, which was,
can you pop them out of the egg cartons?
She wanted to know if we put this entire thing in the fire or if we pop this out. And the answer is we put the entire thing into our kindling and our tinder to make our fire. When you're finished with this activity and your wax is completely dry, you can store these in a little snack-sized Ziploc bag, or you could store them all together in a big Ziploc bag, and then add this to your camping supplies. This is a great tool to help you start a fire even when conditions are a little bit wet. It'll be a lifesaver for you. Next time we are going to do fire starting. So we're gonna learn all about how to start a fire, and we might even use some of these fire starters.